Hello,
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Are you all right? I thought I was beginning to think at the end of the month we might be able to have a meeting about actually doing something real and live, and then the
Oh, so the rule of six came in.
six. Yes. So I
Yeah.
mean, unless we change our format to being an organised sporting event,
Uh,
which is always possible, competitive sing around.
yeah. Uh, uh, what's your feelings about trad to mad at the moment? Sort of.
I think it's, I, well, I do think that allowing the same person to win over and over again is putting people off entering.
Yeah. Well, possibly we ought to sort of. They ought to be weighted against. So has she? She's just won twice, hasn't she?
She's won twice, but she's also been in the running.
Oh yeah, yeah. But she has entered. Sort of.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Um,
I didn't think it. I didn't think she did the song that well.
No,
You know,
I think you were right in saying it seemed hesitant, and in its delivery and things. But in some ways, she's got the most sort of classically folky voice.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and her deliveries. I mean, yeah, she's absolutely in tune, and she's got good, even timbre all the way through, and pleasant to listen to. But
Yeah. I think having 7 entries and the quality of the entries, I think it's a worthy competition,
yeah,
But I got nervous on the last day when I think 4 of them came in the last hour.
yeah,
But that is normal. Sort of, for example, Chris Lamb has come on
yeah.
song. Sort of, he's and I think he's very, I think he's written emails showing his enthusiasm for it. Liking the idea.
I don't know.
But he wrote something about saying that if we needed money, he'd be happy to make a donation to keep it going.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, that's not an issue, but
No, I think that's right. It's whether it's in some ways it is still doing something in these troubled times of.
I wondered whether, because Facebook's become so much more sophisticated, whether we actually need to have people post things on YouTube and then link to Facebook, whether we can add the possibility
They can just put it onto Facebook.
of just singing live in Facebook.
Well, you think that would broaden the approach? Might do.
I don't know. It might do. Yeah.
Well, I think we accepted another format. Someone else sent something which was, like I don't think I really care, but it's a bit like sort of when it started out, YouTube seemed like a sort of.
No, absolutely, and the world moves on, and you move with it.
Yeah. Like the important thing is to get people singing in their bedrooms, garages, whatever, and particularly new people. Like there's someone who's singing this month who she says she was too scared to enter other months.
Oh gosh.
And she's actually got a very good voice.
Mm.
What's slightly sad is she's singing one of the songs that came second about 3 years ago without saying daft. It's almost inevitable with people choosing from a sort of traditional repertoire of hit songs.
Yeah.
Is it called The King of Rome or something? About a pigeon.
Oh, yes, it's on.
The Unthanks do, I think, a sort of a big version of it.
Yeah, but it was on. The Singing Librarian.
That's it. What? June Table.
June Tabor, yeah, she.
I hadn't thought of it like that, but when you describe it,
Yeah. Crap memory for names, but no, it's links.
yeah. I'll get. Hang on, let's get the chat up and participants up. So. And Amanda sort of was being a bit strange at saying that Tratabad wasn't a place for singer-songwriters. I wrote because Roger was winding me up about to say, what do you think about that? And I said, no, I said, there's no place for Robbie Burns, Bob Dylan, or Richard Thompson. They're a waste of space, you know.
Self-penned work.
Yeah.
Well, no, a lot of the self-penned work is mad. So.
But almost inevitably, and in some ways, you might say the traditional, it's all penned somewhere along the line. I've even taken some joy recently in sort of, you know, I've got this ukulele band and they asked to do things, and some of the things I think, oh my God, you know, so. And so I've like they want to do Frankie and Johnny, which is actually a very good, but there is a version which is 16 verses. So I actually looked at about four versions and nicked all the good verses and got it down to 8.
Learning from Nick Jones.
Is that what he does? Is that?
I mean, that's what Alex told me he did. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wasn't really around and connected when he was on the circuit, but you know, the classic Nick Jones songs, the things that were on the first 4 albums. A lot of those are very well cobbled together versions of things, or you know, a cut and shunt.
Yeah, oh, right, okay. And he's almost become the definitive. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But,
which kind of peeves Alex when people sing things at the club that are from Jones's repertoire. And
because it's
not a traditional song. It's a version of a traditional song by Nick Jones. Yeah.
But like I've done things like, so we do a Hang Down Your Head to Tom Dooley, and when I researched the story, it tells you who he killed. Well, in this song, it never ever mentions her. So I bunged her into the first verse. You know, her feeling that she ought to, you know, if you're going to keep it, if you can, and there's also, we do the Banks of Ohio, which I decided I researched a whole set of versions, men's versions, women's versions of this. So I made it gender neutral. Dinosaurs, tomorrow gone from wave-washed shores. I fly my kite, we play frisbee. I bet at work they don't miss me. A golden girl in yellow thong appears from nowhere in this song. Tattoos, piercings everywhere. At the beach bar, mustn't stare. Cheer your suntan, never fade. Piccolo bear, blue Gatorade. Due cappuccini, iced lemon tea. 1,000 lira is 30p. In a hilltop town in Tuscany, little Lancia plus us 3. Within the walls we all seek shade, eat ice cream the gods have made. We climb up high to see the view. Etruscan man has seen it too. Drum bad flag and pony dash. On the street there's fashion dash. A light white wine is this year's tip, and travels well from cup to lip. For next year we will get set and book direct by internet. Yesterday flew in by plane, back to work, autumn rain, silly season is all spent, summer gone, last postcard sent.
Makes me want to go to
fun
Italy.
with what you do.
Okay, Riggy, over to you.
Okay.
Directly from California. You're still in California, aren't you?
I am still here,
With
spite of it all.
and put back together by the heart surgeons and things.
Yes, it was quite an experience, but
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here and not below 6 feet of earth.
Excellent. Okay, over to you.
See, this is a marriage of Thomas Moore and Jacques. You'll see. It was Stan Hugel who did this. I'm leaving old Ireland, the land that I love, and I'm bound far across the sea. And I'm bound for Australia, the land of the free, where there'll be a welcome for me. So fill up your glasses and drink what you please, and whatever the damage I'll pay. So be easy and free whilst you're drinking with me. I'm a man you don't meet every day. When I board me ship for the southern to go, she'll be looking so trim and so fine. And I'll land me aboard with me bags and me stores, on the dockside we'll cast off each line. So fill up your glasses and drink what you please, and whichever the damage I'll pay. So be easy and free whilst you're drinking with me. Sure, I'm a man you don't meet every day. We'll soon drop the tug and sheets, topsails, home toss, and the hands will proud sail upon sail. We'll drink the last drop to our country's green land, and the next day we'll curse our sore heads. So fill up your glasses and drink what you please, and whatever the damage I'll pay. So be easy and free whilst you're drinking with me. Sure, I'm a man you don't meet every day. We'll cruise past the Ushant and then down the bay, where the west wind it blows fine and strong. And we'll soon catch the trades, and we should make good time to the southward, then we'll roll along. So fill up your glasses and drink what you please, and whatever the damage I'll pay. So be easy and free whilst you're drinking with me. Sure, I'm a man you don't meet every day. Believe me, if all those in gone.
Excellent. Let's have Simon, I don't know what you do. Do you want to sing a song a bit later on?
Me? Yeah, I'll certainly love to give it a go.
Okay, well, in a moment. So the running order is now Wendy. What did I say? I've actually made some. Wendy, Gavin, Martin. Then John, are you on for after Martin? Okay, right. Well, I think take it away with Wendy. I think I'm going into mute land again.
Mute.
Okay. Oh wow, I don't have to unmute myself on this one. That's extremely clever. Okay, this is a song by Trevor Peacock, the one who goes no 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 yes, from Vicar of Dibley. Oddly enough, it's actually a song, an anti-war song, I think, really. Laid on my back with the sun in my eyes, soon I shall know what no living man knows. All of my life's been a fight against lies. Death brings the truth, and it's my turn to know. Send my mother a lock of my hair. Send my father the watch that he gave me. Tell my brother to follow me if he dares. Tell them I'm lost now and no one can save me. Remember, remember, send my love little yellow roses. My father taught me that all men are equal, whatever color, religion, or land. Told me to fight for the things I believe in. This I have done with a gun in my hand. Send my mother a lock of my hair. Send my father the watch that he gave me. Tell my brother to follow me if he dares. Tell them I'm lost now and no one can save me. Remember, remember, send my love little yellow roses. I met my love in a garden of roses. She pricked her finger, so sharp the thorn grows. We made a promise that till death should part us, we'd never look on that wild yellow rose. Send my mother a lock of my hair. Send my father the watch that he gave me. Tell my brother to follow me if he dares. Tell them I'm lost now and no one can save me. Remember, remember, send my love little yellow roses.
Lovely, Wendy. Beautifully sung. Can never remember who wrote that. Trevor Peacock didn't actually write. Did he actually write it though?
I think he wrote the I think he wrote the words as well.
When was it written?
I didn't know he wrote too.
May I ask when was it written? You know,
Not sort of 1950s, 60s.
Must be early 60s.
I'll say hello to Tony. Are you with us with sound, Tony? I'm waving at you, but you can't see.
Tony with an eye, I think.
Tony with an eye. Yeah,
Antonia, I think he means you. Oh, she's
Antonia.
just disappeared.
Oh, Tony. Andrew Asher.
No, she's. Hello?
There she is.
She's waving, so I think there's some. You're hearing us?
Ah.
And will you be singing later on? Oh, okay. Right.
What sort of an answer is that?
Andrew, I don't know you at the moment. I've got Andrew Asher.
My brother.
Oh, he's okay.
You do know, if you saw him, you know.
Okay. Right. So Gavin, take it away. I think.
Okay. Just to say a couple of things. If you hear some banging and meowing, it's my diabetic cat who would like to eat, but can't yet.
Okay.
And if I disappear afterwards, it's to inject him.
Okay.
Okay, bit of helpful information there. Okay, so the first song I think I played when I came to the folk club was this, I think. Probably played it better than I will now, Sweaty Farms. And it's a Ralph McTell song. It's not that Ralph McTell song, you'll all be very relieved. It's another one, better one. So, that seems apt, and also given what's been sung so far, seems kind of appropriate. But this year in my garden I grew peppers and tomatoes. Peppers and tomatoes, 'cause they grow together well. And my neighbours all around me, they grew cabbages and onions, beans and potatoes in this village where we dwell. Later in the year we will bring wine to the table, bring wine to the table, and we'll reap what we have sown. Like my father did before me, and his father did before him, and his father did before him, we will share what we have grown. From this little patch of dirt, from this little pile of stones, I can wash the dust off of my face and off my skin, but this earth is in my bones. Well, military vehicles are passing through my village, passing through the village with young soldiers ill at ease, unsmiling and unshaven, distrustful and uncertain, distrustful and uncertain, they are smoking constantly. But my neighbours say, don't worry, 'cause you are one of us, you are one of us, my friend, and it cannot happen here. But the next night at the table, when I bring wine to the table, when I bring wine to the table, they are sitting drinking beer. And last night the hand of friendship lay heavy on my shoulders, heavy on my shoulders as I turned around to go. As I said goodnight, some old men and young soldiers were humming tunes and singing words to songs that I did not know. On this little patch of dirt, from this little pile of stone, I can wash the dirt off of my face and off my skin, but this earth is in my bones. This morning my wife told me she went to church on Sunday. She'd been to church on Sunday 'cause she felt the need to pray. And our children were baptized there, but it was just to please the old ones, just to please the old ones, and I don't know what to say. Tonight as dark is falling, I'm tending to my garden, tending to my garden and the crops that I have grown. And my car is heavy laden, and soon I'll start the engine, soon I'll start the engine, get the children and be gone from this little patch of dirt, from this little pile of stones. I can wash the dirt off of my face and off of my skin, but this earth is in my bones. My shotgun, it is loaded, it's hidden in the cabin, hidden in the cabin. The evening's growing chilled, and my mouth is dry, my hands are moist. Someone tries to stop me, if someone tries to stop me, well, I'm ready now to kill. For this little patch of dirt, for this little pile of stones. You can wash the dirt off of your face, off of your skin, but the earth stays in your bones. Well, I'm watering my garden when I smell the cigarette smoke. I smell the cigarette smoke and I turn round in the dust. And I see the glint of rifles, but I cannot see the faces, but I recognize the voices that say you must come with us.
Yay!
Thank you.
Okay, so
Very good,
Martin, John, Sheila, Simon, and then I suspect it's Chris after that. Yeah. Okay. So Martin, over to you.
So, right, yes, this is a song that was collected and published in a book by a man called William Alexander Barrett, of whom not a lot is known, who was one of the early folk song collectors and who published this book in about 1890, but died very soon after that. And although he was alleged to have had a big collection of folk songs, his papers are now lost. I mean, or at least nobody knows their whereabouts or whether they even still exist. But it's an interesting collection of songs. And it was one of the first books in English to use the actual term folk song, which hadn't been around in English for very long at the time. Good morning, pretty maid, where are you going? To range these fields so far, there's no man knowing. I think you too bold you are to range these fields so fair, in dangers everywhere, thou charming maiden. A charming maid am I, sir, she replied, without any guile or care, to no man tired. My recreations are to range these fields so fair, to take the pleasant air, thou boastful stranger. A farmer's son am I, thy nearest neighbour. Great store of wealth have I by honest labour, and with you will agree, soon married we shall be, for I'm in love with thee, thou charming maiden. A farmer's wife must work both late and early, like any foreign Turk, therefore believe me, I don't intend to be a servant bound to thee, to do thy drudgery, thou boasting stranger. That's it. The end.
Unexpectedly short.
Well, the way you finish every verse, they could all. I was almost bursting into applause.
Isn't that the same tune as He Who Would Valiant Be?
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
Almost? Is it not exactly the same?
Which was a folk tune anyway.
Well, it's,
Okay.
I mean,
Which came first? Or was it?
Wow.
Our captain cried all hands came first.
Yeah.
well, there's lots of. There's actually quite a few songs that in that metrical structure, and which is sort of a very. I mean, it's quite an unusual structure.
I meant it came before To Be a Pilgrim. I mean, that was certainly later.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Well, To Be a Pilgrim. I mean, that was Vaughan Williams nicking the tune he had collected to the words of Our Captain Cried All Hands from Harriet Verrill.
That's what I meant.
Yes. And
perhaps not very well expressed in my case.
Okay, John the Hegley, are you there? Do you want to? I shall go into mute land and hand over to you. You're in mute at the moment.
Is that all right? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay, let's call The Hats of Luton. First and last three of the three verses are about my mum and dad chatting to each other when they first moved to Luton from London in 1955 when I was 2. And the middle verse is about John Keats relating to this. In a letter of 1819 from John Keats to his brother George and his sister-in-law Georgina, John Keats says, speaking of his neighbour Mr. Abbey, "We walked together through the Poultry," which is a part of London which I didn't know until recently. "We walked together through the Poultry as far as the hatter's shop he has some concern in. He spoke of it in such a way to me, I thought he wanted me to make an offer to assist him in it. I do believe if I could be a hatter, I might be one." Keats' own words. These are my own words. This is the Hats of Luton. And edition of the this is a cavaquinho, which is steel strum. They used to, so mum and dad are chatting in the first one. They used to fashion hats here years ago. They did you know they fashion hats of very high renown. However many hats here do you know? Every day a sea of hats came flooding from the town. So as it dried up totally, not totally, but certainly, the modern day production is significantly down. So now how many hats here? I don't know. A puddle, not an ocean, but they're still of high renown. The famous hats of Luton, the famous hats. Once the height of fashion was a hat from Luton town. The famous hats of Luton, the famous hats. A Luton hat was top up from the bottom to the crown. John Keats once in a natter said he could have been a hatter had there been something the matter with the poems that he made. And the nearest hatting town to John was Luton, so he could have gone up northwards from the city if he couldn't do his ditty from the sonnet to the bonnet and the millinery trade. The famous hats of Luton, the famous hats. Once the height of fashion was a hat from Luton town. The famous hats of Luton, the famous hats. A Luton hat was top up from the bottom to the crown. The fashion has been rationed, now there are so many people going out without a hat and just some hair upon their crown. But still we have our passion and let's hope it stays in fashion. If it don't, I'll buy a Luton hat and eat my hat, and after that I'll get sat on the privy and I'll flush the boater down. And that's the end of that about the hats, the famous hats. This is the end of that about the hats of Luton town.
Hooray.
Hey.
Brilliant.
But when you said poultry as in chicken or as in poultry, Poultry, TRE.
Yeah, Poultry is apparently a part of.
It's a street in the city.
Oh right, okay.
Yes, it's just near. It's near Bank Station, and it's
Yeah.
obviously where the poultry market used to be.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining, rather than
the city
trees.
of London.
Right. Okay. Now,
What other city is there? Oh yeah. Martin's song had a boastful stranger in it, and so does this one. This is what? What? Can you have too many boastful strangers in one session? I don't know. This is a music hall song. It's about a strong indigenous young woman who sees off the advances of an imperialistic man. So there. And you'll know the chorus. And when I sing it in music halls, I think I'm going to try to take it down from there, because I haven't got much of a range. I've got less of a range than usual these days, even less of a range. And I'm going to stand up, which may or may not help. So I hope this is the right note to start on. Join in the chorus. I won't be able to hear you, but join in anyway. Once on a cannibal isle there dwelt a dark-eyed maid, lived all alone in a little log hut in the palm tree shade, and on that island she reigned as queen. Oops! One day a stranger appeared on the scene, said he don't waste your time out in this awful clime, but come with me, my pretty southern maid, to my home across the sea. But he went very red when she turned up her nose and said, I wouldn't leave my little wooden hut for you. I've got one lover and I don't want to. What might happen there is no knowing. If he came around, so you'd better be going, 'cause I wouldn't leave my little wooden hut for you. But this young man would not give in. He could not believe that this fair maid her island home didn't want to leave. He said, if you will come home with me, you'll be the toast of society. Sorry, I'm messing about. My camera is not as stable as I thought it was. I'll start that verse again. Sorry about this. But this young man would not give in. He could not believe that this fair maid her island home didn't want to leave. He said, if you will come home with me, you'll be the toast of society. If you will be my bride, you'll in my carriage ride. In silks and satins you will be dressed, like a princess you'll appear. But she said, but here I'm queen, and I don't have to wear a crinoline. I wouldn't leave my little wooden hut for you. I've got one lover and I don't want to. What might happen there is no knowing. If he came around, so you'd better be going, 'cause I wouldn't leave my little wooden hut for you. Just then some cannibals came in sight with swords and spears, looking for something for supper that night, making ugly leers. That queen said, stranger, you'd better go. That chief in war paint you see is my bow. Oh, is that so? He said, as towards the stream he fled, and jumped into a boat a-floating there. He was soon clean out of sight. He won't return again, just to hear that maid explain. I wouldn't leave my little wooden hut for you. I've got one lover and I don't want two. What might happen there is no knowing if he came around, so you better be going, 'cause I wouldn't leave my little wooden hut for you. Ba-dum-bum. Not many of you were joining in. Oh, and I should have said, I could never find, after much searching, the original middle verse, so I had to write one.
I thought you were sort of doing a Pete Townsend on your PC as you were singing. So you can sort of smash it up as you go.
I noticed that it was chopping the top half of my head off, so I tried to angle it slightly, and it fell over.
I think we got that general impression. Yes. I think now over to Simon. Are you good to go? I think he's put his headphones on, so I think we've.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm just going to plug in my headphones. Hold
okay, we're going into mute land over here.
Hold on. Is that? No, hold on. I think I'm still on mute here. Hold on. No, I'm not. Headphones. Headphones on. Oh, that's better. I can hear now. Yeah. Hello?
Yep, we can hear you.
Ah, okay. I can't hear me. All I can hear. What's the point of the headphones? I don't know what.
Only you know.
Why did I put them on? I don't know. I tried to get a couple of Zoom things. So, well, I'd like to sing a song, please. It's called Mrs. Barber's. Maybe some of you know it, and please sing along if you do. Do unmute. Mrs. Barber's Army by Alistair Hewitt. It's from an album called Red Clydeside, which was given to me by John Higley, and I absolutely loved the album. Thank you, John. To the extent that I gave it away very quickly to someone. I loved it, gave it away, bought it again, gave it away about 4 times, and eventually I downloaded it on a computer that no longer works. So I ended up with one song of it, which I particularly love, was called Mrs. Barber's Army, which I haven't sung for quite a long time, but I did it for a month once. Anyway, it's in if anyone's Scottish, I apologise. It's in a Glaswegian accent, dialect. Do I have to do it? Okay. How do you do this? In the tenements of Glasgow in the year 1915, it was one long bloody struggle just to keep ourselves alive. We were counting at the coppers to buy us scraps of food when the landlord put the rent up just because they could. Oh, the factories were humming, there was overtime galore, but wages they were driven down to subsidise the war. Who came Mrs. Barber from a wee bit single end? She said, I'll organise the lassies if I canny rouse the men. See, I for govern. You pick Fartic. This Johnny is from Bridgeway, and yon some Caning Park, and some are prods. Some are Catholic, but we're Mrs. Barber's Army, and we're here to do the work. Mrs. Barber made a poster saying we no pay higher rent, and she chapped on every door of every government tenement. She said, put this in the windy when you hear to come, and priest the vector all the way. No, that's as much as I can remember, I'm afraid. We'll have to cut it there. But thank you. I didn't realise how rusty I was.
Shame.
But I would count it as a song I could sing. I would.
I find pinning the words to the
Next time.
screen underneath the camera is quite a good idea.
Words. Oh, really? Well, yeah. I mean,
No,
I had to get it,
there's no one can see them.
I had to get it translated. My,
No,
a
wouldn't work
great
in
trick.
translation.
GI forgiven. I'm from. I thought that was I'm forgiven. It's I'm from Govan.
From Govan,
Yeah.
where the ferry
GI
used to go when I was a child.
Ah.
It was famous in Scotland, the Govan ferry. But,
Right, we've got two Chris Lambs there, but
Yes, I'm trying to do something about that.
Sheila, do you know it? Because I saw you mouthing to it.
We'll have the one in the red coat.
No, I don't know that song. No, I've not heard it before.
But you know Alistair Hullet, yeah?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
knew his-
Oh yes, I saw him
He lives in
several
Australia,
times.
doesn't he now? Yeah.
Well, he doesn't live anywhere now, sadly.
Oh, he died, didn't he? Yes.
He
yes,
died a few years ago.
Participants.
He was not of any age either.
Really? I haven't done anything.
Oh, hi, Andy.
Next.
Chris, you singing? Not when you're muted, though. Chris, you're muted.
Just saying, I was getting confused with my other half, who seems to be me as well. So hopefully she'll change in a moment. Anyway, a song. My old man was a good old man, skilled in the moulding trade. In the stinking heat of the iron foundry, my old man was made. Down on his knees in the moulding sand, he wore his trade like a company band. He was one of the Cyclops smoky band. Yes, that was my old man. My old man wasn't really old. It was just that he was young. I was young. And anybody over 12 years old was halfway to the tomb. He was loyal to his workmates all his life, gave his pay packet to his wife, had a few jars on a Saturday night. Yes, that was my old man. My old man was a union man, fought hard all his days. He understood the system and was wise to the boss's ways. He says, if you want what's yours by right, you have to struggle with all your might. They'll rob you blind if you don't fight. Yes, that was my old man. My old man was a proud old man, at home on the foundry floor, until the day they laid him off and showed him to the door. They gave him his card, said things are slack. We've got a machine that can learn the knack of doing your job, so don't come back. The end for my old man. My old man, he was 51. What was he to do? A craftsman moulder on the Dole in 1932. He felt he'd given all he could give, so he did what thousands of others did. Abandoned hope and the will to live, they killed him, my old man. My old man, he is dead and gone. Now I am your old man. And my advice to you, my son, is to fight back while you can. Watch out for the man with the silicon chip. Hold on to your job with a good firm grip. 'Cause if you don't, you'll have had your chips the same as my old man.
A great song, that.
Well,
You and Nicole need.
Of course. Who else?
Tony,
Right.
are you with us for a song? And Andrew.
I have to play. Right. How can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to see how far I can put the mic away. Can you hear me now? No. So I have to be this close. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Oh, okay,
Yes.
right. I'm going to have to play microphone diva then. It's this cheap mic, which is the only thing that I have to get an external mic for my Chromebook. I won't bore you with the details. Okay, right. This was, I'm cheating. I've got the music in front of me there. You can't see it. This was featured in the Columbia picture, The Jolson Story, and there's notes for how you can play it on a ukulele. So there you go. Right. Come on along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway, the hip hooray and ballyhoo, the lullaby of Broadway, the rumble of a subway train, the rattle of a taxi, the daffodils who entertain at Angelo's and Maxie's when a Broadway baby says goodnight. It's early in the morning. The Manhattan babies don't sleep tight until the dawn. Good night, baby. Good night. The milkman's on his way. Sleep tight, baby. Sleep tight. Let's call it a day. Well, come on along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway. The hidey-ho and hoop-a-doo, the lullaby of Broadway. The band begins to go to town, and everything goes crazy. You rock-a-bye your baby round till everything goes hazy. Hush-a-bye, I'll buy you this and that. You hear a daddy saying, and baby goes home to her flat to sleep all day. Good night, baby. Good night. A milkman's on his way. Sleep tight, baby. Sleep tight. Let's call it a day. Listen to the lullaby of old Broadway.
We'll have to hear that again.
Excellent. Sounded great. Now, Andrew, do you want to sing? Andrew Asher. Is that a no?
You're muted, Andrew.
Is Andrew balancing a pool table on his head, and if so, why?
It does look like a pool table. I don't think he's going to, but I don't. Are you?
Oh, shall we...
Up or down, Andy? We can't hear you. You're muted. He's not going to sing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I think we come. Nick, do you want to sing a song?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll go around again with me and yeah.
So I decided it was officially the end of summer today because it was a bit chilly on the bicycle ride to work. This is a swimming song. This summer I went swimming, this summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my arms and I moved my arms around, moved my arms around. This summer I swam in the ocean and I swam in a swimming pool. A salt in my wounds, thorn in my eyes, I'm a self-destructive fool, a self-destructive fool. Summer I went swimming, this summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. This summer I did the backstroke, and you know that that's not all. Did the breaststroke and the butterfly and the old Australian crawl. The old
The old
Australian
Australian.
call. This summer I swam in a public place in a reservoir to boot. And the latter I was informal. At the former I wore my suit. I wore my swimming suit. This summer I went swimming. This summer I might have drowned. But I kicked my legs and I moved my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. This summer I did swan dives and jackknives for you all. And once when you weren't looking, I did a cannonball. I did a cannonball. This summer I went swimming. This summer I might have drowned. But I held my breath and I kicked my feet and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. Thank you.
Hey.
Yay. Great song.
Yay.
So I think everyone's had one go. So since Simon Hindley isn't here, and a number of other people are here, this is my version of something he does very, very well, and I probably shouldn't do. Christmas Eve on the corner at a pit bull fight. Two gamblers did argue deep into the night. He is a bad man, cruel staggerly. Billy London begged staggerly, please don't take my life. I got two little children and a darling loving wife. He is a bad man, cruel staggerly. What do I care about your children or your loving wife? You stole my baseball cap, I'm bound to take your life. He is a bad man, cruel staggerly. Boom, 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 when the 44. Next I spy Billy London lying on the floor. He is a bad man, cruel staggerly. Good people of the jury, what you think of that? Staggerly killed Billy London over a stupid baseball cap. He is a bad man, cruel staggerly. They found Staggerly hanging in his cell. That bad boy couldn't wait to go to hell. He is a bad man, cruel staggerly.
One Bernard.
Where is Staggerly?
He's a person, not a place.
You're
Oh, he was
muted,
called
Bernard.
Staggerly, not from Staggerly.
You're muted, Bernard.
He was a pimp in 18 something like 92. He and his and they had his friend. They had a fight about politics on Christmas Eve, and they were both very, very drunk. And Staggerly shot his friend, sort of because I think he'd taken his hat off him as they were messing about. And in fact, he didn't get hung, apparently got out of prison later on, and I think he did other crimes. But as Simon Hindley says, none of the facts in the song are true. So in fact, I've actually I've sort of updated it because I don't believe in hanging. So the hanging is he has to hang himself in the cell and things. And I have to have a mixed jury and such things. But there you go. So that's over to Riggy.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you for being who you are and singing the way you sing. This is a song about sleeping a lot. One of many. Actually, it's a whole theme of mine about sleeping a lot. I take myself to bed each night like normal people do. Dutifully, I turn out the light and say a prayer or two. I pull the blankets to my chin, I close my eyes up tight, and then I wish that I could be staying out all night, staying out all night, staying out all night. If only I could spend my days staying out all night. When morning comes, I cover my head till the bright sun bids me rise. If I said I'm glad to see the day, I'd have to tell a lie. I get straight up and count the days till the weekend's coming by. And when I can indulge myself in staying out all night, staying out all night, staying out all night. If only I could spend my days staying out all night. I'm getting older in my years and I should take a wife, but that's a thing I'll never do, not while I have my life. They box your ears, they pinch you blue, they pull the reins in tight. And the jolly old boy whose pleasure lies in staying out all night, staying out all night, staying out all night. If only I could spend my days staying out all night. And when I'm old and slow to step and dotage keeps me in, there'll surely be the devil to pay for the pleasures of my sins. Eyes will close at 9 o'clock, though I put up such a fight. And then I'll wish I'd been a little wiser about staying out all night, staying out all night, staying out all night. If only I could spend my days staying out all night, staying out all night.
Yay.
Good to hear that.
When I lived in Gosport, I had a friend who was very rock and roll. Unfortunately, he'd come round and go to sleep on our settee, and I'd have to take him home, sort of, while watching TV, which was sort of like. In fact, he's still like that now. So he never quite sort of managed to, like, he was a rock singer and things, but at 11 o'clock he went to sleep. No, it's terrible. Anyway, now Wendy next.
It's not very rock and roll, is it, really?
No, and then Gavin, and then Anne, if you're up for it.
I'm going gospel, I think. Not that I really believe in it, but there you go. I am a poor wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world alone. There is no sickness, toil or danger in that fair land to which I go. I'm going home to see my father. I'm going home, no more to roam. I'm just going over Jordan. I'm just going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way is rough and steep. Golden fields lie just before me, where weary eyes no more may weep. I'm going home to see my mother. I'm going home, no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home.
Beautiful.
Lovely. God really does have some of the best songs in spite of not existing.
Shame, innit?
Yeah.
So, Gavin, who's got back from his diabetic cat,
That sorted
did the
the
injection go
diabetic cat.
okay?
But I'm hoping to bring together a number of strands that have emerged. I've also turned on original sound, which I don't know what the last song sounded like, but I realised I should have turned it on. So Nick sang a Loudon Wainwright song. I'm a big Loudon Wainwright fan.
Yeah.
And Sheila Wendy sang a beautiful gospel song. And actually, a few years ago, Andrew and I went to see Loudon Wainwright. I think it was the night before or 2 nights before the American election. And he sang a song that he'd written called "Last Night I Dreamt That Donald Trump Became the President." Well, thank God that never happened. Anyway, here we go. This is a song that brings together a bit of gospel, a lot of narcissism, and we all know how it all turns out. I'm not sure I've ever played this, but I'm going to play it now. It's pretty straightforward. You can join in. Still a pretty straightforward chorus, sort of. I was standing down in Jerusalem town one day. Whoa, we're going to take it in another key altogether, because we're not going to make that one. Okay, let's put it into standing down. D will do. Told you I hadn't sung it. I was standing down in Jerusalem town one day. Standing down in Jerusalem town one day. I was standing down in Jerusalem town one day. I was telling everybody I'm the way. I can walk on the water and I can raise the dead. Walk on the water and I can raise the dead. I can walk on the water and I can raise the dead. It's easy when you're the way. Well, don't tell anybody, but I kissed Magdalene. Yeah, don't tell anybody, I kissed Magdalene. Please don't tell anybody, I kissed Magdalene right on the mouth. But it's alright. I said, Mary, it's okay, I'm the way. Well, every Every son of God gets a little hard luck sometimes. Yeah, every son of God gets a little hard luck sometimes. Every son of God gets a little hard luck sometimes. Especially when they go around telling everybody they're the way. Yeah, but I am the way. I am the way. I'll tell you people, I am the way. You're late. Hey brother, I'm the way. Hallelujah. That's as religious as I can get.
Right. So, Anne next. Yep.
Yeah.
Hello, Anne.
Oh yes, I am unmuted.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm. My fiddle playing is dreadful. I'm hardly playing it now. Anyway, so I wouldn't dare. But I'll sing you a song instead. Maybe one day I'll practice again. So this is a song about a dragon. Just in case you're wondering what on earth it's about, okay. And it's called Eating of Maidens is a Horrid Thing to Do, which is the chorus, except it's a bit different. The first chorus is a bit different, but the rest of it's all just Eating of Maidens is a horrid thing to do. When a dragon sees a maiden, he burns with desire. Such a sweet, delicious maid sets his nostrils on fire. Eating of maidens is what he likes to do. Eating of maidens is what he likes to do. Every maiden is unique, like no other before. Every time you eat one up, then she's gone forevermore. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Every time you eat a maiden, her poor father sighs. Every time you eat a maiden, her poor mother cries. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Every maiden has a lover from whom she cannot part. When he hears she's eaten up, he'll die of a broken heart. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. You will never know the love of a maiden so true. If you keep on eating maidens, then no one will love you. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do. Eating of maidens is a horrid thing to do.
Great song.
I think we're all in agreement there.
It's a long story.
Martin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're on song?
Yes. This is a song by the poet John Clare, who set it to a tune of the same name, as it were. It's called Peggy Band, and there is a traditional song called Peggy Band, but John Clare sort of completely rewrote the plot. So this is an untraditional Peggy Band. Oh, it was a lone and a dreary night, and the storm beat loud and high, nor a friendly light to guide me right was there shining in the sky. When alone caught my wanderings met, lost in a foreign land, and I found the dearest friend as yet in the lovely Peggy band. Oh, father, here's a soldier lad, and weary he seems to be. Then welcome him in, the old man said, and she gave her seat to me. The fire she trimmed, my clothes she dried, with her own sweet lily hand, and over the soldier's lot she sighed, did the lovely Peggy band. When I told the tale of my wandering years, and the nights unknown to sleep, she made excuse to hide her tears, and she stole away to weep. A pilgrim's blessing I thought I'd found, like saints in the Holy Land. And I thought her the guardian angel there, though he called her Peggy band. The night it passed and the time to part, with the morning winged away. An anxious care still filled my heart, that vainly bade me stay. I thanked the old man for all he'd done, and I took his daughter's hand. But my heart was full, and I could not bid farewell to Peggy band. Oh, a blessing on that lonely cot, where the soldier found repose, and 1,000 blessings be her lot, who soothed the soldier's woes. I turned a last look all on the door, as she held it in her hand, and my heart was full as I crossed the moor to part from Peggy band. Through the weary ways that I have been, full many friends befell, and I have many maidens met, who used the soldier well. But of all the mates I ever met, at home or in a foreign land, I've never met the equal yet of my lovely Peggy band. John Clapp.
Just before Sheila goes on, I thought I'd tell my Louder Wainwright story. In about 1977, I saw Louder Wainwright at Portsmouth Guildhall, and the support act came on, and a man called Mike Mann, and there was this sort of dim-wit singer out of the audience. So I thought, what the fuck's going on here? and it was Andrew Frank. In the way I didn't get it at all, as he wandered around the stage in +4s in a big Guildhall, sort of Portsmouth Guildhall. He looked completely out of place. And let's say I didn't get it till I actually came to the Islington Folk Club and saw Andrew wandering around in a pub environment. So, as a very, very good friend, it's quite interesting how sort of, let's say, one can change one's opinions over time depending on context. Although I think Mike Mann had something to do with it, because he came on in a very aggressive way saying, "This is rock and roll," and then Andrew started singing. I thought, no, it's not. You know, sort of. But anyway, I thought Sheila might be slightly amused at that. Okay, over to you.
Yes. I've got a Loudon Wainwright anecdote as well, which has nothing to do with this song. Loudon came to my folk club once. It was Martin and Norma who were on. It might have been Martin, Norma and Chris Parkinson, I can't remember. So of course the room was packed. It was while we were still in the old farmhouse under one of its 3 names, I can't remember which. And he came in just after the interval and stood at the back. And no one thought to tell me that he was in the audience. I think Martin and Norma might have bloody mentioned it. So at the end, when people were wandering about and I was, trying to organise things as people were leaving, my friend, my American friend Leslie, who was living in London at the time, said to me, "Is that not Loudon Wainwright over there?" And I looked, and sure enough it was. And when I said to him, "I wish I'd known you were here. It would have been nice if you could have done a floor spot." And he said, "Oh yeah, that would have been good." I thought, shit. Anyway, that's entirely beside the point. It still annoys me when I think of it. Yeah, this is a traditional song, a traditional Scots song. It's she's not like the heroine of the Rigs of Rye or most of those Broken Token songs. Namely, she doesn't put up with being pissed about and told that he doesn't want her any longer. Can't think where to pitch this. And I can't think how it starts. Oh, I am a watty, my laddie's bedside. This is not a very good key. Oh, I am a watty, my laddie's bedside. I am a wa for to be my laddie's guide. I am a watty, my laddie's bedside, though his father and mother be angry. Oh, at my bedside, my lassie, ye'll no sit. At my bedside, my lassie, ye'll no sit. For I found a guide and a far better fit. So be gone, lassie, wha cares for ye? Oh, you might have courted 6, my lad, you might have courted 7, you might have courted 8, 9, 10 or 11. You can go and court another that'll mark up the dozen, but be kind to your old love for all that. Oh, come back, my bonny lassie, dinna gang awa. Come back, my bonny lassie, dinna gang awa. Come back, my bonny lassie, dinna gang awa. I was only in jest for to try ye. Well, if you were in jest, my laddie, I was in nane. So lang, lang, my bonny laddie, may you lie alane. Lang, lang, my bonny laddie, may you lie alane. And think upon the bonny lass that looed ye. Oh, the trees, they are high, my lad, the leaves, they are green. The years are passing by, my lad, that you and I hae seen. On a cold winter's night, when you have to lie alane, ach, you'll weary long before I'll come and see you. I'm still very hoarse, I don't know why.
That was good.
Lovely.
It's a good song. I have sung it better in my time. I think I've lost my voice, such as it was in the course of the lockdown.
don't use our voices very much when we're just sort of sitting, staring at a computer. And
Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah, you don't use them properly, do you? Kind of.
no,
Yes.
don't open up. And now we've all been told about how dangerous it is
Yeah.
to speak loudly. You're worried about opening up or I am
Yes.
worried about opening up in public.
Yes. And
How come you're
singers.
speaking so softly now, Nick?
Very, Bernard,
Maybe it's just my.
You're going to wear a mask on Zoom, I think.
That's better. I heard that.
Yeah. So over to John then. Into mute land. Let John take it away.
Is that right? Is that right? This is a song that Simon likes, actually. I think Simon's left for the evening. It's a song about an armadillo. My mummy, she bought me an armadillo. I kissed him and I kept him under my pillow. And I cleaned him with a Brillo pad. He was shiny and tiny and he came from Peru. His name was Amadeus, but we used to call him Toby. He had a suit of armour and he burrowed about the hills and the daffodils. He turned them inside out. And me mummy used to shout at him when he came home covered in graffiti. He was an insectivorous creature, the teacher used to say. And the dog next door, the carnivore, would sometimes come and play. We had races and chases down by the riverside. And sometimes we'd go swimming, and sometimes we wouldn't. And he had ants and beetles for dinner every day. Them creepy crawlies, he could put them away. And he did his indoor doings in his indoor doings tray. But one day in the winter when the willow tree was bare, I looked under my pillow, there was no armadillo there. So I ran downstairs and I said to me, Mummy, 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 where's he gone? She was having a game of rummy and she looked up and she said, John, go and put some clothing on, you're nearly 24. I said, Mummy, it's an emergency, and I ran out in the raw. I ran down to the riverside and in a rowing boat I saw Toby in the distance with the dog next door.
Yay!
That was fantastic.
Wonderful. Great stuff.
Excellent.
Now,
Right, that's for Simon, that one.
yeah, I think I've said Chris, then Rick Hayter. You on song? Yeah, good. Chris,
Yes, I suppose I've
Chris
got to follow
Lamb
John.
in the red coat.
I don't think anyone should be made to follow John. I think there should be an interval after John has started. Anyway, here's the song. 3 maidens a-milking did go. 3 maidens a-milking did go. And the wind it did blow high, and the wind it did blow low. And it waved their petticoats to and fro. They've met with a young man they know. They've met with a young man they know. And they've asked it of him if he had any skill for to catch them a small bird or two. Oh yes, I've a very good skill. Oh yes, I've a very good skill, and it's come along with me to yonder flowering tree, and I'll catch you a small bird or two. So it's off to the greenwood went they. So it's off to the greenwood went they. And he's tapping at that bush, and the bird it did fly in, just a little above her lily white knee. Then her sparkling eyes they did turn round, then her just as if she had been in a swoon. And she cried, oh, I've a bird, and a very pretty bird, and he's pecking away at his own ground. Here's a health to the bird in the bush. Here's a health to the bird in the bush. And we'll drink up the sun, and we'll drink down the moon. Let the neighbours say little or much.
Excellent.
I'm going to say that Rick has one of the stillest sort of portraits there. If you're not eating or you're not drawing, I thought you were a stagnant picture. Then I suddenly saw your right hand twiddling a pencil. I thought, have you actually left the building and left a photograph of yourself there? You're the most concentrated man. So, over to you. I'm into mute and...
Hi everyone. I think I might have done this last time, but I'll do it again. It's my new song. So really, hymn of praise to the music. Before I got into roots music, I was into classic rock. It's called classic rock now, but then it was just rock. Anyway, here we go. This is going to sound like dumb nostalgia. When I was young, the music was so fine. When I was just a curly-headed schoolboy, I listened to my music all the time. Great music from a bolder generation, from a dull repression breaking free. Energized, they raced across the heaven, lit the upturned face of little me. All that great music, a vivid living culture I belong to, banged a gong to, sang along to. Every week I read those music papers, and every week another brilliant band. A guitar god, a poet bard, a songbird, an ace new LP in my eager hand. And I thought it would go on
forever. Great music would always be played, but it got messed up and dressed up and digitized. Pop music was all that got made. All that great music, a vivid living culture I belong to, banged a gong to, sang along. Those greedy years tame my music hero, who once I held in adolescent awe. And artists were replaced by entertainers, no fertile self-expression anymore. And I wonder why music was so great then. Did they have a brand new culture to define? Were they strictly schooled and given dizzy freedom? Is every zenith followed by decline? All that great music, a vivid living culture I belong to, banged a gong to, sang along.
Very good, Rick.
Obligatory rockist final chord there.
Yeah.
Excellent. Tony, do you want to finish off this half and then we'll have an interval to go and get beer or whatever?
Wine.
Wine.
Yeah.
Tony, you're on song? You're on mute at the
You're
moment.
still muted.
Unmuting.
You're muted,
Unmute
Tony.
yourself,
I think
Tony.
yeah. Tony, you're on.
Hello?
You're unmuted but inaudible. Have you got a problem with your mic again?
It's gone, Tony. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Now we can.
I'd switched the mic off, hadn't I, somehow?
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay, bloody microphones. Okay, here we go. A traditional song. One of those sort of mystical, contradictory, probably spell-invoking jobs. Okay. In Ottoman town, not a soul would look up, not a soul would look up, not a soul would look down, not a soul would look up, not a soul would look down, to tell me the way to Ottoman town. I rode a big horse that was called a grey mare, grey mane and grey tail, grey stripes down her back, grey mane and grey tail, grey stripes down her back. There wasn't a hair on him that wasn't coal black. She stood so tall, she threw me to the dirt. She tore my hide and bruised my shirt. From stirrup to stirrup I mounted again, and on my 10 toes I rode over the plain. Met the king and the queen, and a company of men, a walking behind and a riding before, a stark naked drummer came a walking along with his hands in his bosom, a beating his drum. Sat down on a fort in a cold frozen stone. 10,000 stood around me, yet I was alone. Took my heart in my hand to keep my head warm. 10,000 got drowned that never were born. Nottingham Town.
Fabulous. So I've got it at the time's 9:36 by my computer. So I'm going to say we'll have meet again at 9:45, and then we'll get round once more at least, and then have some greatest hits or something. Okay. And we'll leave the Zoom open for general chatting and.
Right. What happens to those of us who haven't got any greatest hits? I need to sort my camera out.
What are you doing?
Oh, that won't do. No, that won't do.
What are you doing?
Slightly better.
I'd rather sitting in silence.
Muttering.
Was that Speed the Plow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sorry, I hadn't realised I wasn't on mute. I was just making sure I did know how to play it, because I usually play accompaniments to it. I'm usually going... etc.
What was that tune, Nick?
It's Speed the Plough, but that's the accompaniment.
Oh, right. I only came in on the end of it, so
Like,
Speed the Plough is a
Yeah.
tune I should certainly know the name of.
yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask Riggy how he was, but he's just disappeared. Have the others deserted us, or do you think they've just... I know. Some are coming back.
Well, Anne's left.
Oh, has she? Oh, yes, she said she had things to do.
People to see, things to do.
Well, not so many people to see these days, sadly.
Well, the whole world's there on Zoom nowadays. I'm seeing more of Riggy.
Yes. And Riggy is looking extremely well for a man who had a major heart attack about
think that's
less than
right.
2 weeks ago.
Extraordinary.
It was a major one, too.
I said
I
that.
had several, I have a Zoom visit with my doctor. The doctors don't see you anymore because of the pandemic.
Oh, God,
There's
yes.
3 Zoom meetings going on here, all at the same time right now.
God.
Three
My
rooms.
God.
Fibre
Can't
bright
cope.
broadband then, Gavin?
Must be really good. We've got extra disc things in through the flats. Only a small flat as well. Small flat with a lot of Wi-Fi.
Huh. I went to an actual theatre on Saturday.
Oh,
I went to the Bridge, Nick Kleitner's theatre.
Oh,
Nick Kleitner and
someone
Nick, I
else
can
went.
never remember the other Nick's surname. They were putting on a one-man play by David Hare, performed by Ralph Fiennes, no less. Socially distanced, so only 250 of us allowed in the theatre instead of the usual 900 and whatever. And it was great. It was just so wonderful to be back in a real theatre again after 6 months almost since I last was.
Absolutely.
I think we have to take advantage, don't we? Because it's all going to shut down again any minute.
It is, inevitably, yes. As the figures climb and as the weather gets colder, it's going to get worse again.
I think I said last time we went to see Jay Rayner in
Oh wow!
in a car park. It's a drive-in, which was an amazing experience, sort of in the rain in Enfield. So we were all in our cars, parked a social distance apart, and we all listened by FM radio to Jay Rayner do his presentation on a big screen in front of us, and then people had a question and answer session afterwards, which was all done via Twitter. And if you wanted to buy a drink, you did it on the internet, and they bought a brown paper bag with, say, your can of wine in, or what, and your burger or whatever, you know.
Good God.
For your car. So you thought, is this the modern world? It was actually quite fun, to be honest. Honest to you. But
I could never really see the attraction of drive-in movies, but I suppose in the present circumstances, it's a different matter, really.
Well, I think drive-in live entertainment is even more bizarre.
Yeah.
Sort of, like, also, everyone hoots their horns as applause. You know, so,
Instead of clapping.
yeah.
It's not quite the same, is it?
No. It's a different experience. It's definitely.
To see blind.
I think we're on to Nick. Do you want to start us with a tune again, or if you've done a tune, or sing us a song?
I'll sing a song, and then maybe do a tune at the end.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So before everybody else joined, Bernard and I were talking about different versions of songs and how you cut things together to make them into a good song. And my first encounter with this was really Nick Jones, who put together lots of things into some really nice songs. And this is another end of summer or remembering summer song. In the heat of the day, with the sun... Sorry, I'll start again. In the heat of the day, when the sun shines so freely, I met Master Kilby, so fine and so gay. I took off my hat and I bowed to the ground, and I said, Master Kilby, oh, where are you bound? Bound for the west, in the hope to find a rest in the arms of my dear Nancy. It's there I'll make my nest. For if I were the owner of 10,000 crowns in bright gold and silver, and King William's crowns, I'd give of it all with my own heart so freely, for the love of my dear Nancy, my charming Nancy. She's the queen of my heart, she's the fairest of girls, and her skin shines like silver in every part. I gave her some kisses, it was down by the seashore, and still she lay asking for more. Thank you.
Okay. This is a song I wrote in the early 90s, and in fact, it references something that sort of a few of you will know are the Guo brothers, who are the Chinese brothers, and they had a percussionist with them who used to play Covent Garden regularly, and we booked them, and they were wonderful. And then we booked them again, and we only got one Guo brother because they'd become so popular they could actually send two Guo brother bands out at the same time. So we got a little bit sort of, let's say, disillusioned. So this song vaguely references that as a sort of in joke to start off
Did
with.
we once had the Guo brothers and none of the actual brothers was in it? The
You might be right. Like there was, because the Guo brothers, they picked up a whole set of English people who were really keen on Chinese music, and so they became their sort of students, and they maybe even sent two or three of them out. They may have had the percussionist or something. It was something like. It was very lacking in Guo brothers. It wasn't the same thing at all. They're all very sort of wonderful, but they were wonderful musicians by themselves. It was actually at a period when I hadn't heard much wonderful things going on, and two things happened at the same time. Steve Newman came into town, who was a wonderful guitarist and played wonderful melodies and had a wonderful touch, and the Guo brothers. And I thought, this is right, this is good stuff. Anyway, so that's what the references this. In Covent Garden, I heard a Guo. The Freemason man said it's not what you know. In Lincoln's Inn Fields they lie in the snow. As I was leaving London, I met my brother in the Lamb. We talked about Mom on her own, and how sometimes things don't always rhyme. As I was leaving London, it was Yellow Book Day in Barnesbury. In Malvern Terrace they were drinking tea. I thought I saw a man from the BBC. As I was leaving London, the Angels played outside the Albion. A Freightliner's cock crowed in the sun. Highbury Ward as Arsenal won. As I was leaving London, in Finsbury Park I heard Neil Young. I fed the ducks and a lonely swan, watched the joggers jog and a pit bull run. As I was leaving London, in a Greek newsagent's I bought a G-string. In Green Lanes they sell everything. Take me to the turnpike to meet the king. As I was leaving London, on Pockets Common I saw a man dance a jig around a lager can. Slice the melon, make a plan. As I was leaving London, turn again, almost home and it starts to rain. So that's where I am staying. As I was leaving London,
What a picture you drew.
It's the cycle route from Covent Garden to Turnpike Lane, and they're all things that I liked at the time. You know, with Angel Morris and the Freightliner's cock and Neil Young playing and things. Yeah.
Was that actually in Was that actually in the park, or was it at the Rainbow?
No, it's at Finsbury Park. He played he played a concert. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't actually see him, but I saw him later on in Hyde Park, and he was wonderful. I could hear him from our house, though.
Yes, I could probably hear him from this.
Did you ever go to the Old Triangle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's still well. I don't know if it's going now, but it was certainly still going before March.
It is still there. It's open again.
It's certainly still, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
good. I was just going to, just going to say that the reference to the night when the Grow Brothers were on and there wasn't a single Grow Brother reminded me of the famous or infamous night at the Chestnuts when the Dan Quinn Trio, which was always a movable feast, was Roger Digby on his own.
Hey ho!
I got to be roommates with Roger at Sidmouth 2 years ago.
All right.
I really like him, and Liz.
I like Roger, yes. Very
Roger.
dry sense of humour.
And he knows the pubs, so he the best places to draw a Young's or a Adnan. Well, there were a lot of good beers that's very limited availability. You know,
So, Riggy, are you going to sing next? So,
okay,
and then
I'll
Wendy,
think about
I think
beer.
With or without Adnams.
I wish Adnams were mentioned in this song. Harvey Andrews.
You can always write a new verse.
When the summer sun is shining, England's finest hour is seen. When the ripening barley's waving yellow in its frame of green. When the birdsong welcomes evening, when the sky is turning gray, fill your turning pale, got a rhyme, turning pale, fill your glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. English ale, oh English ale, how we love our English ale. Fill your glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. When the autumn leaves are golden and new scents are on, and the autumn leaves are golden and the air begins to chill, when the swallows leave us for a place where it is summer still, just remember they're returning like the tides, they never fail. Fill your glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. English ale, oh English ale, how we love our English ale. Fill your glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. When the winter brings the snowstorms and the air blows ill for all, when Jack Frost hangs at your window and the nights too quickly fall, there's a log fire warmly burning in the fans and in the dale. Fill your glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. English ale, oh English ale, how we love our English ale. Fill your glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. When the spring begins to quicken and new scents are on the air, when the sleepers rouse and waken and the land again is fair, then the old men talk of childhood, old men tell such wondrous tales. Fill their glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. English ale, oh English ale, how we love our English ale. Fill your glass and toast their glory with a taste of English ale. Harvey Andrews.
Yay.
Yay.
Lovely. Beautifully sung and played.
Well worth coming out for the night.
Yes. In spite of all that
Come
going
a long
together.
way.
Gender reveal party.
Yes.
Is Harvey Andrews still alive? Does anyone know?
Don't know. Google. Wikipedia, is he?
Yeah.
Wendy, are you singing? Well, she has either ale or wine. I think it's ale or.
No, it's
Looks
wine.
like wine.
It's
Wine.
rosé.
Rosé.
Rosé. Well, I'm gonna kind of latch on to what Riggy was singing about earlier about sleeping in, and this is kind of like a morning after song, really. It's a Dory Previn number, so it's a different sort of view. Okay. In the morning when I wake up, I've got to take an easy pace. When the bed is unfamiliar, then the ceiling is hard to face. So if I ask you how I got here, don't be mad if I don't know. I ain't teasing, here is the reason I wake up slow. Oh, in the morning when I wake up, if I act like I'm alone, if I'm awful hard to get to, like a disconnected phone, and if I ask you, am I dreaming? Don't be mad if I don't know. I ain't lying, I'm just trying to wake up slow. Oh, late last night you said you loved me. Well, I thought he's just coming on. By tomorrow he'll have come and gone. Gone and left me here to wake up in the morning in an unfamiliar bed, where I'll have to face the ceiling and forget the things you said. So if you move in my direction, don't be mad if I say no. I ain't teasing, here is the reason I wake up slow. In the morning I wake up slow.
Yay. Lovely stuff.
That is great. That's great.
Yay.
Gavin from the Zoom household.
Okay.
Let's see if he has enough channel to
Bandwidth.
bandwidth.
I only ever sung one unaccompanied song at the club, and it was on Burns night, and I was desperately struggling to find a Scottish song, and I found this one, which turned out, of course, it wasn't Scottish because it's a Ewan MacColl song. It wasn't Scottish. I always thought it was Scottish, wasn't Scottish, but I know it from Dick Gaughan, who is Scottish. So anyway, I'm going to have another crack at it now, and partly because Gino, who some of you met, my son, is heading off to university in supposedly, hopefully, in a couple of weeks. And I used to sing him this when he was little. Of course, luckily he's on another Zoom meeting, so he won't hear it now. Unfortunately, he should be playing here tonight, as those of you who have heard him probably agree. But anyway, you're stuck with me. So I'm going to have another crack at this very cheery song. I sort of need the lyrics, so if you see me staring off to the right or left, whatever it is for you, that's what it is. Actually, it's good. Okay. Whoa, here we go. I'll just put it down like that. So that's another day gone by, son, close your eyes. I'm going to have to take it down a lot lower. I'm having trouble with keys tonight. That's another day gone by, son, close your eyes. Now the moon is chasing clouds across the sky. Go to sleep and have no fear, son, for your mum and dad are near, son, and the giant's just a shadow on the wall. Go to sleep, and when you wake it will be light. There's no need to fear the darkness of the night. It's not like the dark you find, son, in the depths of some men's minds, son, that defies the daily coming of the dawn. Lie easy in your bed and grow up strong. You'll be needing all your strength before too long. But you'll soon be on your way, son, fighting battles every day, son, with an enemy who thinks he owns the world. Stop your crying now, let daddy dry your tears. There's no bogeyman, oh, to get you, never fear. There's no ogres, wicked witches, only greedy sons of bitches who are waiting to exploit your life away. Don't you let 'em buy you out or break your pride. Don't you let yourself be used, then cast aside. If you listen to their lying, they will con you into dying. You won't even know that you were once alive. No more talking now, it's time to go to sleep. There are answers to your questions, but they'll keep. Go on asking while you grow, son. Go on asking till you know, son. And then send your answers ringing through the world.
Lovely.
Haven't heard that for ages. Good song, well sung.
Very nice.
Who have we got? Sheila, you're going to go next then, Martin?
Oh, am I? Oh, all right.
Yeah. On the boy girl principle.
May I try something out on you? Something that may go disastrously wrong. I've never sung this except to myself in the shower or the kitchen, and it should really be accompanied, which it's not going to be. And I think I probably need to stand up for this, so I will try to see if I can angle the camera a bit better this time. This is not a traditional song. It does have one thing in common with some traditional songs in that it's not really about what it says it's about. You know, like the songs that are supposedly about playing cards or doing a spot of moonlit weaving. It's kind of one of those. And I don't really know where to pitch it, so I'm going to have to guess. And I've never been able to do that finger clicking thing. It would be quite good with this song if I could. I know this grocery clerk unprepossessing. Some think the boy's a jerk. They have my blessing. But when he starts to move, he aims to please, which only goes to show that sometimes in a clerk you find a Hercules. He hasn't much that's plus. You might describe him thus: a broken arm, a false alarm, an imitation Hitler, and with littler charm. But oh, can that boy foxtrot? His mouth is mean, he's not too clean. What makes him look like reptilian is the brilliantine. But oh, can that boy foxtrot? Who knows what I saw in him? I took a chance. Oh yes, one more flaw in him. He can't dance. As dumbbells go, he's rather slow. And as for being saintly, even faintly, no. But who needs Albert Schweitzer when the lights are low? And oh boy, can that boy foxtrot? Right now, as I speak of him, I hear those drums, and oh, the technique of him. He's all thumbs. His jokes are quaint and fairly faint. He may be full of hokum, but I've no complaint. He often is a bore, but on the floor he ain't. And oh boy, can that boy foxtrot? Stephen Sondheim, of course.
Of course.
Brilliant.
Love your phrasing.
Which musical's that from then?
It's not from a music hall, it's from, well, he wrote it for Follies, and then for some reason or other it got cut out of Follies, because they needed a different song at that point, and I've always thought it was a great shame it was cut out, because I've always loved it. But never sung it.
Really, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Martin? Martin?
Yes. I'll sing you a song.
And a very pretty one, possibly.
No, not that one. Oh, but it is about a horse. Since first I copped a tidy lump of swag, I've always kept a decent little nag. But one that I shall sing about to you now was worth 1,000,000 jimmies in a bag. I matched against the best that could be found. 4 owners made a stake of £60, and the race was duly run. And I'll tell you how we won, with brave Polly, my old pony, world renowned. Down the road away went Polly with a step so jolly that I knew she'd win. Down the road the pace was killing, but the mare was willing for a lightning spin. All the rest was licked and might as well have ne'er been born. Whoa, mare, you've earned your little bit of corn. Tom Jones the butcher thought the form untrue. Says he, look here, I'll tell you what we'll do. My cob shall race your mare again next Monday, and 50 more bright sovereigns I will blue. If you can prove she'll beat him once again, I'll never in this world more hold a rein. And though I knew he had no chance, he insisted on the dance. So now I'll tell you how we slew the slain. For it's down the road away went Polly with a step so jolly that I knew it'd win. Down the road the pace was killing, but the mare was willing for a lightning spin. All the rest was licked and might as well have ne'er been born. Whoa, mare, you've earned your little bit of corn. Soon after that she reached her final goal. I'd had that little wonder since a foal, and grief too keen to talk about was mine when we carted off poor Poll to fill a hole. The missus and the children came with me, the last of poor pet pony Poll to see, and the neighbours shared the grief that was felt beyond relief when the little mare was buried, R.I.P. Down the road away went Polly, not a face looked jolly, 'twould have seemed a sin. Down the road, the pace not killing, but the dead mare willing for a final spin. Everyone would all look so sad, and I was so forlorn. Whoa, mare, you've earned your little bit of corn.
Yay.
Down the road.
Yay.
Excellent. So have Tony now, and then Rick, and then Chris, before we move into extra time. And we have in extra time, we probably have a tune from Nick and a song from Riggy, I would think.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that okay? So that's Tony next, if you're on.
Now you tell me. Okay. Righty-ho. All right. Here we go. Do I have both? No, God, I've lost both. Hang on. Right. Prompt pages. Right. No one to talk with all by myself. No one to walk with, but I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you. I know for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, just thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in a corner, don't go nowhere, what do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for, believe me. I don't stay out late, don't care to go. I roam about it, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you. Like Jack Horner in a corner, don't go nowhere, what do I care? Your kisses are worth waiting for. Oh, believe me, I don't stay out late, don't care to go. I'm home about it, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you.
Singing along with things
Lovely.
like that.
Hey. What a shame we couldn't hear the saxophone. Is it a saxophone? I can't remember. Clarinet.
So now, Rick. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't enabled original sound last time, but I think I've done it now. So I think I might do this one. I haven't done it for a while. It's about my old dentist, who used to have a practice just by Enfield Town Station.
Funny man, but he could drill and fill those ivories. At bridges, crowns, veneers, false teeth, he had great expertise. Though it was not exactly fun to sit there in his chair. You knew he held an expert drill, and all his rates were fair. Sing, sing, the unsung man did his work right well, till money and a landlord's greed hit him and he fell. Unworldly man in a box-like room, no frills and no hard sell. For all those years and all those teeth he served his patience well. And though my own teeth were awfully bad, he never turned a hair, but showed me how to brush them right and save those few still there. Sing, sing, the unsung man did his work right well, till money and a landlord's greed hit him and he fell. The landlord took his surgery to make a fancy flat, and he's retired way too soon. He's gone, he won't come back. Receptionist, she couldn't say what he would do when out. He gave himself to dentistry, it's all he knows about. Sing, sing, the unsung man did his work right well, till money and a landlord's greed hit him and he fell.
Over to Chris then.
Okay,
think it's the last man standing.
Okay. A short song. Rap at the bank, me canny lad. Wind away, keep turning. The back shift men are getting him. They'll be back here in the morning. Father used to call a turn when the last shift was over, and getting goodbye, you'd hear him cry, you know it's after 4. He cried, rap at the bank, me canny lad. Wind away, keep turning. The back shift men are getting him. They'll be back here in the morning. And when that awful day arrived, the last shift for me father, full of stones and broken bones, but still above the clatter, he cried, rap at the bank, me canny lad. Wind a reed slow, that's clever. This old lord's been taken bad, and he'll be back here never.
So I'm going to propose what I proposed earlier, that Nick plays us a tune, and then we ask Ricky to sing us a going home song to finish us off for the night. Okay, and then we all meet again on the 24th, or those who want to, which is 2 weeks' time.
We're in G if anybody wants to play along.
Ooh.
I'll start again.
Excellent.
See why I normally play with a band. Thank you.
Well, these are strange times and strange ways. So, ask Ricky to play us out with a song.
Okay, this is a Strange Time song. I used to introduce this by saying it's a work song that isn't working. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Would it be so?
If only. Perfect. Well done, Reggie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reggie.
Excellent.
Ideal song to finish
2
with.
weeks. Is it 2 weeks? 2
Thank
weeks?
you all. Thank you, Nick and Bernard and everyone.
2 weeks. The 24th.
Thank you, Nick.
Abyssinia Youth.
Rabbit Appreciation Society.
Okay. Bye, everybody, and thank you.
Bye all.
It's been good fun. It's been good fun.
Cheers, Nick.
Bye all.